The Supreme Court is back in session this morning for the first time in a couple of weeks, and somebody has showed up today who's been absent for a little bit. NBC's Pete Williams is at the court with more. Pete, we're talking about Justice Ginsburg, right?
Is that what we're talking about? Yes, of course. Ruth Bader Ginsburg back on the bench today. The court's actually been in its long midwinter break, didn't come back on the bench until today, and there she was. Walking in under her own power in her usual way. If you didn't know what she had been through for the past month or so, that having part of her lung removed when doctors discovered some cancerous lumps in December, you'd never know, because she came into the court under her own steam, took her seat next to the chief, which is her usual spot, and she was the first questioner. She asked the first question during oral argument, which is something that often happens. So she's back. Fully functioning. Remember, she did participate in the other cases during the previous two-week session in which she was not here, by listening to the reading the transcripts and reading the briefs. And she was here last Friday. Now, we didn't see her because she was in the closed-door conference with the justices, their usual Friday conference. But she's back fully participating. Also today, the Supreme Court said it would hear a case from Hawaii next term that could make it harder to sue for violations of the Clean Water Act. And the court today also turned away an appeal from a woman who claimed she was defamed by the lawyers for Bill Cosby. She had claimed an improper sexual advance by Cosby. She claimed that she was liable. The lower court said, no, you're a public figure. You sort of injected yourself into the public sphere. And for that reason, the Supreme Court also declined to hear the case. Justice Thomas, Clarence Thomas, in a dissent said, you know what, it's time we revisit this law, this rule, this court law that says that a public figure can't sue unless he can prove actual malice. That's the finding of the famous New York Times versus Sullivan case, and Thomas thinks that was wrongly decided. We'll get decisions here tomorrow. This is a sort of a light workload week for the court. They're only hearing two cases this week, and then they're back again for more oral argument next week. Allie?
And I'm sure you'll be back in that spot as well. Pete Williams, thank you much, reporting for us from the Supreme Court here in Washington. Thank you for checking out our YouTube channel. Why don't you subscribe? It's really easy. Just click on that button down there. And for more news from MSNBC, click on any of these videos here for the latest interviews and highlights. You can get more videos from MSNBC with our newsletters. Head over to msnbc.com/newsletters to sign up.